Hey guys, so I'm a little late on making this video, but better late than never, I suppose. So this week's theme or topic, I guess, is where's my mojo? So I'm going to let you guys know what happened to my mojo and how I got my groove back, I guess. Your sex life is way different after you have a baby. Ours actually changed as soon as we got pregnant. I don't know who the women are that get pregnant and have like crazy high sex drives. Apparently they're out there. I was not one, but I guess they're out there and they're telling everybody about how high their sex drive is when they're pregnant, because my husband was thinking that, I don't know where he heard that our sex life was just going to get out of control when I was pregnant, but it actually did the opposite. When I got pregnant, I was nauseous. So the first 12 weeks I was nauseous, so I didn't really want anything to do with it. Second trimester was kind of, back to business as usual, but third trimester I just started to feel gigantic, and I really didn't want anything to do with sex then. I just felt like I was as large as a farm animal. I didn't want anything to do with having sex. So that's how our sex life was during pregnancy. I really thought after I had the baby that things would just go back to how they were before, and they really kind of don't. If you have a baby or you're pregnant, when you have the baby and say you have to get stitches or whatever down there after you have the baby, don't look. I just was so freaked out when I was pregnant about what was going to happen to my girly parts after the baby came. And I know everybody always says that, they go back to normal. And I just couldn't really believe that, because I just looked at how big my stomach was and was thinking, if I'm going to push a baby out, there's no way it's going to go back to how it was. So I had the baby, and the next day I took a hand mirror and I was checking out what happened. Don't do that. Don't look. It is traumatizing. The furniture's all rearranged. You just don't want that image of yourself in your head. Just don't look. It does go back to normal, but it doesn't go back to normal the day after you have a baby. So that's a tip for your sex life. Don't look at it. Don't look at it until 6 weeks. Don't look at it. So yeah, but it does actually go back to normal, which is insane. I thought there was no way. I was pretty sure it was going to look like a firecracker after it had exploded, but no, it goes back. So that really kind of messed with me, because I was thinking, I'm not letting my husband go anywhere near me because it's a disaster area. Yeah, I know. I'm getting super personal here, but just go with it. So, you're supposed to wait 6 weeks after you have the baby to try to have sex again. We actually waited way longer, because after I had Scarlett, I had bleeding for 13 weeks, which is not normal and not common, but that's how it worked out for us. So we waited a long time, and I was actually it wasn't really hard on me, because we had a new baby and I was always tired, but it was really hard on my husband. And for that, I just have to say, you kind of just have to be open with your partner or your spouse and let them know, it's a lot of trauma on your body to have a baby. The delivery, and then after you have the baby, your uterus shrinks really quickly and your organs kind of all have to go back to where they were before. I mean, it's a crazy amount of trauma. So if you're not comfortable, just talk to your spouse and let them know, like, hey, I've been through a lot. You got to cut me some slack. Like, I really had to keep the communication open with my husband, because I know it was really frustrating for him that it took us so long before we started trying to have sex again. It was about 14 weeks, which is a really long time. And then after that, it just, my sex drive was just like zero. Having a new baby, I think for me, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, it's just very physically demanding, not as in like hard labor, but just, you always have this little person on your body. You're always holding the baby. They nurse all the time when they're brand new. It's like it's just demanding to not be, there's somebody always in your bubble. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's just, it's hard. It's a lot of work having a little baby. And then, the baby finally goes to sleep and you have some time to just be your own person. And then, you need to give attention to your husband. So it was really kind of hard for me to just want to be physically close when I've been physically close with this little person all day long. I just wanted to be myself. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but that, I think, was a lot of the reason why my mojo was not really up and running. And I know that you do still need to take care of your husband. I'm just not really one for like taking one for the team, even though you don't want to. If I don't want to, then I don't want to. Like, that doesn't mean that we don't do it. I'm just saying, you just really have to really, really be open with your spouse or partner and let them know, like, hey, I'm really stressed. I'm sorry I'm not into it. Or, maybe we could spend some time just cuddling and maybe, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I would have to ask, can we just like cuddle and kiss and not have the pressure of like having sex? Because sometimes just having that closeness and having somebody be sweet to you will kind of put you in the mood to want to have sex. But when you feel a lot of pressure, like they're mad at you because you don't want it, then it just makes you want it even less. That's how it was for me. So I really just think that communication is like a huge thing as far as that goes. For myself, just to work on it on my own, I would say definitely do some kind of exercise after you have the baby. Obviously, wait your 6 weeks until your doctor says it's okay. I don't do anything crazy. I just go for walks with Scarlett all the time. It's easy. I just go for walks, because if you don't feel good about your body and you don't feel sexy, you're not really going to want to have sex. So that's one thing I would definitely suggest, is do some kind of exercise. Make sure that you take time out for yourself. If you don't feel sexy, you're not going to want to have sex. So definitely exercise, take some time out to blow dry your hair and do your makeup. I know that sounds really simple, but when you have a new baby, you kind of just like, I'm just going to stay in my pajamas, and don't do that. Put some clothes on and do your makeup. It'll make you feel sexier. You'll be more in the mood. Really, for us, it was just time. It just took me a little while before I wanted to let my freak flag fly again. So, I can't give you, our sex life is back to normal now, but of course now we're pregnant again, so I'm sure it's all going to change. But, mostly all I would have to say is, if you have no sex drive, you just had a baby, you're not alone. Don't feel bad about it. It's just, your body's been through a lot, so you just have to be open with your spouse or partner and let them know what's going on with you. And it worked for us. It was a little rocky, but you just have to be honest. So I hope this helped. I hope it wasn't too much information, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.